Record. Okay, we are live, and I'm going to start the recording.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services, LLC, and author of the book, Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and let us improve financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
Do this look like work to you? Nah. Looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here. All of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah. All of this for me. Bottles over here. All of this for me. Bottles bringing bottles out. All of this for me.
Hello, and welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net Channel 2 and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. I am Andrew Romanella. That is Rocky Romanella. We are taking you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour. Shout out to the Age Out Angels who are before us from 6 to 7 o'clock. Love listening to the end of their show. They throw a little Rome Show shout out in there. So we'll shout out the precursor show to the Rome Show today. Boy, do we have a fun show planned for the Romo Sapiens today. So before we dive into any of that, we remind you that if you want to get in on the conversation today, pick up the phone, dial 609-807-2492. Our producer, Ruben's at Hamilton Radio right now. He's ready to rock, ready to answer your calls, or head over to Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. You can comment in on the live feed or, multiple ways to get on the show. At Wide World of Rome on Twitter and the Gram. I just put a questions poll up in the story of at Wide World of Rome. You can go there and you could write it in. What, Rocky, might Andrew be talking about? What can I go and write in? Well, there's a few different things. The first thing that Rocky and I are going to dive into today is our top 5 fan sports moments of all time. This is something we alluded to last week, June 22nd, okay? Said today, June 28th, we were going to talk about it. So we're going to give you our top 5 list. Something fun we've been debating over the last few days. If you had 10 minutes to choose one snack in an eating contest, what snack would you choose? Plus a little bit of trivia on Rocky, a little bit of Rock's reviews. I don't even know what he's reviewing today. It's going to be a surprise for all of us. Some signings in the NFL we want to talk about. And maybe, who knows, your questions if you call. So jam-packed show, 609-807-2492, Rock, if they want to get on.
Yeah, I'm excited to go through the sports moments. I got to be honest with you.
Before we do that, should I give the people this date in sports history?
Yeah, let's hear about it. Because I'm curious.
Are you curious?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, so here we go. June 28th, 2020, The Rome Show. This date in sports history, it is this. In 1986, Tigers manager Sparky Anderson won his 600th American League game as a manager, becoming the first manager in Major League Baseball history to win 600 games in the National League and win 600 games in the American League. If you're saying to yourself, well, who did Sparky Anderson, Hall of Fame inductee 2000 to Major League Baseball, who did he manage before the AL? You would say
The Mets.
The Cincinnati Reds. Sparky Anderson was the manager of the Big Red Machine, the Cincinnati Reds. In his career, 5 pennants, 3 World Series, 26 seasons, 2,194 wins. That's your this date in sports history.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, it really is.
Right?
I mean, you can win that many times in different leagues. I like it.
Over
Good stat.
600 in both.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Let me ask you this before we go on to the straight off the Rome segment of this program.
Ask me.
You said something last week about baseball and whatever. We had a good heated discussion
Oh yeah, DH.
about
no
baseball,
DH.
DH, no DH.
Yeah.
Do you think it matters more that he had 600 in one or 600 in the other? I mean, he had more than 600 in both, but if you had to choose AL or NL, which one would you rather it be done in?
I mean, I guess you could argue it's harder with the pitcher batting because like they're just not as good at hitting. So do you bat the pitcher in the 8 spot and have 2 number 1 hitters in the 9? What do you do late in the game when it's time to either, when the pitcher comes up and you need a run, but the pitcher's throwing well, like do you take him out and sacrifice the throwing for a hit? You never know. So
I would say the NL. I'd
Yeah.
be more proud of myself in the NL
no doubt.
because you have to be more of a manager in the NL because of what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of having the pitcher there, double switches, things like that.
Yeah.
So Sparky Anderson, did you also know on this date in 1986 as well? I'm forgetting what team Tom Seaver was on, but he was traded from whatever that team he was on was. I think it was the Chicago White Sox. I could be wrong. Someone knows that. Write it in. To
the Mets.
the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, come on.
You can't just guess the Mets and expect.
Tom Seaver's a Met.
That is your this date in history, June 28th, 1986. All right, straight off the Rome. Here it is, okay? Your top 5 best moments as a fan, okay? If you have those, I want you to write them in on the Facebook comments. I want you to call it in 609-807-2492 or head over to Wide World of Rome on the Twitter or the Gram. Top 5 favorite fan moments in sports. Okay, so how do you want to do this? Because I have 5, but then like there's a few that like I'm wondering if you're gonna count them based on the categorization of this list.
I have 5, but I also have different live sporting events that I think are just valuable to talk about. So
I think we should probably go with the events that we were at physically.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but I have more than 5 written down.
All right, so let's tease this a little bit here. Give me ones that are not on your list,
Not on the top 5.
but that were
Yeah,
great sports moments for you.
So
as a fan.
So I've got 2 years ago, my wife's family, she has cousins in Tennessee. They all went to UT. They went to Tennessee.
Okay.
So we went and saw UT play Vanderbilt football,
Ooh.
which was really fun. Walking the streets of Tennessee and Knoxville, seeing that Peyton Manning is an absolute god in that town, which is really awesome. You walk through the campus to the field. It's really cool. It's really fun atmosphere. When I was younger, probably around 12, 13 years old, I had the opportunity to go to 2 USC football home games, and I actually saw USC play UCLA in the Coliseum.
And that's when both were at peak performance.
Yeah, it was probably right before. It was probably like 2 or 3 years before Reggie Bush.
Okay.
So that was USC, UCLA. So that was really
So
cool.
Pete Carroll had really just started to get into
Yeah, Pete Carroll was there.
the intertwines of how he can get illegal
Yeah.
recruits.
Yeah, so that was cool. I've got when we lived in Des Moines, Iowa, which is funny in itself. But we actually saw Kerry Wood throw for the Iowa Cubs in
We
Double-A
did.
ball before he went and to the majors. Right, in his debut in Chicago, he had 20 strikeouts.
Yep.
So like that was pretty cool.
So these are some pretty awesome sports moments that aren't on your top 5.
Yeah, do you have any of those?
I do
Yeah.
actually. And so 1, 2, and 3 were super easy for me. Okay. So that was simple. Some of the ones that were close in the top 10, not in the top 5. Okay. When I was younger, I would say maybe this was 1999, 2000. I forget exactly what year it was, but we were at an Anaheim Ducks game for my sister's birthday, and we kind of knew the guy that worked some facet of promotions for the Ducks. So he was able to get me on the Zamboni. And in between the first and second period, I rode the Zamboni at the Anaheim Ducks game. Now, this was like, I say this all the time. I think I started this trend. This was like before Zamboni riding. And if you watch hockey or you go to live hockey games, it's very prominent now to have a kid or somebody riding on the Zamboni
Oh,
during
there's 2 kids every
very nice guy. But this was way before that. This This was trend-setting stuff from Andrew Romanelli.
I think you won the raffle.
I
You put
won
your
something.
name down.
I think we rigged it a little bit.
No, I
Either
don't
way, I rode the Zamboni. That was super awesome just because that was like my first chance to be on a professional ice like that and see that. So that was really cool. Another top one that isn't in my top 5, but I love, we had the chance to go to a practice for the New York Rangers in said Anaheim, California.
Yeah.
I was not a Rangers fan. If I had to make a 6, this would probably be number 6. We got to meet Adam Graves, Mike Richter. I think Mark Messier was there.
Yeah.
Alex Koval. No, who am I? Excuse me. Alexei Kovalov.
I don't know if he was still on the team at that point.
Teemu Solani, who was on the Ducks, but we got to meet him in the elevator.
Yeah.
It was such a sick experience to watch the NHLers practice. And there's a really funny story that it would behoove me that I didn't tell. So is it Sam Rosen, the voice of the Rangers on the radio? And my dad is a huge Rangers fan and loves listening to sports on the radio. So we're walking in to the practice facility, and he's giving all the kids like a speech, like, okay, like we're going to be on our best behavior, like understand we're going to be at a professional practice, blah, blah, blah. Well, he sees the radio announcers of the New York Rangers, and it felt like what was a second after he finished telling us to be respectful and whatever, he was screaming, oh my God, Sarah Rosen, oh my God. There he is, he's right there. And like a child in a candy store, my father, who, hey, if you want to call and defend yourself, 609-807-2492, was jumping up and down in hysteria that he was seeing almost what is considered one of his idols. So those two really stand out for me. We went, I got to meet the Angels. A lot of good stuff happened for me in California. I got to meet the Angels before batting practice. So those are a few that are on my board. And, the last one didn't make it, but you'll appreciate it. In 2011, I think it was, the Giants played the Panthers in the first round of the playoffs, and it snowed there. And we were yucking up snowballs at all the Panthers fans every time there was a touchdown. And I'm a Giants fan, so that's probably why it's not in my top 5. But in a moment to be a part of a snow game like that and actually feel what that feels like, that's up there as well, too.
That's in my top 10.
Is it?
Oh yeah, not my top 5, in my top.
Well, because a bunch of these we've been at together.
Yeah, which is
You
cool.
were at the Zamboni game. You were at you were at the game. You were at the practice in Cali.
Yeah, I got to be the water boy for the Ducks. The one game
Is that not in the top 5?
No, it's not in the top 5. I mean, I stood behind the bench. I got to hang out in the locker room for the whole game. That was cool. They won in overtime. Actually, I think they beat. I want to say it was a team from Canada. They might have beat like the Edmonton Oilers or something that night. But yeah.
So we have some write-ins before Rocky and I go into our actual top 5 list. We have some good write-ins. So Dante Fideli, who Hammer, as he refers to me and I refer to him, he's just retired after a 20-year career at Fairleigh Dickinson University as the head softball coach. He writes in this, Rock. Hank Aaron, 7/15. Cal Ripken Jr., 2,141st game. Joe Willie and the Jets win the Super Bowl. Sox win the World Series for the first time since 1918. And last but not least, the 1969 Mets. Now, I don't know if Dante was at all of those.
But that's a pretty good
But
rap
that
sheet
is
if
a
he
great
was.
list. If he was, and if he wasn't, it's still a great list to be able to experience,
No doubt.
because I don't think I was alive for any of those but the Red Sox World Series.
Yeah.
And Cal Ripken, I think.
Yeah.
That was late 90s. Then Mark Ferraro Enzo writes in, LT's touchdown interception. You Giants fans will really, really dive into that one. And he does see Big Rock screaming and yelling like that. And our own mother writes in, another reminder of that beautiful day with the New York Rangers, that we had a chance to meet Mike Richter, and I told Mike Richter that my favorite goaltender was Martin Brodeur, who is the Hall of Fame goalie from the New Jersey Devils. So
That was really funny.
that's a favorite. I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Just being honest. It's something a lot of us need to learn.
Yeah.
All right, so those are theirs. Give me yours.
So I'm actually number 5 was really tough for me.
Okay.
Right. So because we've had so many good moments, that I'm gonna go with actually. So in 2010, I want to say it was like the 09-010 NCAA Ice Hockey National Championship game.
That's right.
Was in Washington D.C. and Dad and I were down there and we watched Miami of Ohio play Boston University. And with 7 minutes remaining in the third period, Boston University was losing 5-3. And Jack Parker pulled the goalie with 7 minutes left.
Head coach of Boston University.
And they ended up going on to tie the game. I want to say it might have been 5-2, but they ended up going on tying the game and then winning in overtime. And it was just one of the best games that I had ever been at. And so that one's actually going to sneak into my top 5. And it's going to move Wilmer Flores' walk-off home run after the crying night to number 6.
Ooh, so that got punched out of the
yeah, because Wilmer Flores, because Wilmer Flores cries, right? And then they play the Nats at home, and Harvey's on the hill versus Strasburg.
Yep.
And we were sitting behind home plate in like the 4th row, and we just saw a gem. And then Wilmer hit the walk off in the 10th.
Yeah.
And we went to McFadden's, got hammered, and missed the train back to.
It was fantastic.
It was awesome.
It was a great.
But that's number 6. Probably should be number 5, but I wanted to throw props to hockey. Number 4 for me is the infamous New York Giants sacking Donovan McNabb 12 times. That's right. So we sacked Donovan McNabb 12 times in a home game. It was absolutely fantastic. It was one of the better tailgate nights. I lost a jersey. I bought a jersey. At that time in my Giants career, I had been wearing a New York Giants football helmet 2 games,
every game.
like in the game.
Yeah.
And so having that, having all the fans pat me on the head like I was sacking people was really fun, which was really cool. So that's number 4, the 12 sack Donovan McNabb game. Coming in at number 3 is the NHL Winter Classic at Citi Field.
Okay.
Which
I was also.
Yeah, we went to together. So we saw the Rangers play the Sabres. And it was cool, great seats. We did the whole fan experience before the game. It was like 1 degree. It was really cold. The Rangers won it overtime, which was awesome.
Yep.
But it was my first Winter Classic experience, only Winter Classic experience, and to see it at a place where we have so many memories in Citi Field.
Yeah.
We could do a Citi Field.
Honestly, you could be top 5. Right.
It really could be, which is pretty cool. So. And we ended up standing in the same section.
Yeah.
That my number 2 is, which is World Series Game 3.
Wow.
Noah Syndergaard throwing high heat on the opening pitch.
Who led off that game?
Who cares? All I know is that I've never been in a more electric atmosphere.
Electric. Like it was wild that day. Like wild. Like the fact that you could stand in what was like almost like a hutted corner of Citi Field.
It was,
and feel the energy was pretty mind-blowing.
Like it was, listen, it's easily one of my it's the number 1 Snapchat I've ever taken.
Yeah.
Out of the 10 I've taken.
100%.
2 minutes and 30 seconds of pure brilliance.
And a lot
bumper to bumper on the Shea Bridge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was packed.
Alex Rodriguez and Pete Rose in person.
Yeah. So that's my 5 through 2.
And your number 1.
I was gonna wait for you if you wanted to go.
Oh, all right. Good call. All right, so my number 5. So now that I'm up second because I believe straight up, A, I know that like 3 of ours are the same thing, but B, Rocky has the really good backstories and one-liners to his fun events, so he can really give you the insight. So I'm going to give you mine quickly, and then we can talk about the crossovers in number 1.
Nice.
Number 5, the Winter Classic game.
Nice.
For all the same reasons. One side highlight of the Winter Classic game that I love is that they have this whole backdrop set up where it's supposed to look like New York City and all this other stuff. Well, for half the game, Rocky and I were trying to figure out, they had these taxi cabs there. And we were trying to figure out like how they were moving, if they were moving, were there people inside of them, like what was going on. And that was just as entertaining as the Winter Classic. It was just like such a funny backdrop. So that's number 5 for me. Number 4 is something that happened last summer for Rocky and I, which was we went to the U.S. Open at Bethpage Black.
Oh, that was cool.
Out in Long Island. We went to day 3 of the tournament, and We walked around. Listen, I've never been to a golf tournament before. I thought it was super cool how close you were to the competitors.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun, but not only that, and like props to us, but like ladies and gentlemen of the Romo Sapiens, you couldn't have crushed watching a golf tournament better than Rocky and I did. We got with the best packs. We followed the right holes. We found the right beer distributors. We literally, you couldn't have navigated Bethpage back any better. So that was number 4, and that got in the top 5
I like it.
because it was my first ever pro golf experience. And
Yeah.
I'm also probably recency biased. I've played so much freaking golf recently that it's just like it's on my mind. So that's number 4. Number 3, the Devils versus the Ducks Stanley Cup in 2000, game 4.
Nice. I was there.
What was pretty cool about this moment was the game, yes, but more importantly, the moment that I found out I was going. This was right as cell phones like started happening. Either my mom reached out to me on the phone I had at school, or somebody got beepered or something, and I was told to come to the backside of school. You're not taking the bus home. I come to the backside of school. Rocky's in the front seat with my mom, and they have a Devils jersey up, and they're going wild in the front seat. And then, hey, we're going to the game. So we drove straight to the stadium.
Yep.
And we got to see game 4. The Devils lost that game. They eventually went on to win the 2000 Cup. in
Only home
7
teams
games.
won that series.
Only home
teams. Now, my question is for that game: did we see Scott Stevens bury Paul Correa and then Paul Correa score the slap shot goal, or was that a different game?
I
fear it was a different game.
every bit of me wants to say that it was that game.
It wasn't,
But I don't, because of that, I believe that it wasn't that game.
I know, but that was a great game.
It was sick. And
Yeah.
and the atmosphere. And what was cool too was we had been to so many Ducks games to that point that going to Anaheim Stadium, it wasn't like one of those, oh my God, this is so cool. But for that game, it was. You're in a different section than you normally sat. The place was absolutely packed. The roof was about to blow off the place. And the other cool realization I had was like, damn, hockey's pretty popular in California. Like, wow.
That was the first time I'd ever seen graphics on the ice in a pregame.
Oh, like
And that was like 2000. It was like 2000.
it was
Yeah,
2000.
it was like 2000. Yeah.
It was like 2000. It
Yeah.
was 2000.
All I know is that watch a playoff game. It's just like it's so different.
It's the atmosphere. And that's
Yeah.
probably why most of the things on our list have to do with like those monumentous type stuff. World
Yeah.
Series playoffs. Number 2, you guessed it, Mets World Series Game 3, Noah Syndergaard. I mean, you just like, had Noah not happened, that would be my top sports moment.
Easily.
That's
Easily.
how 1A and 1B
It's
is.
the World Series. Like you can't top. Like I mean, listen, going to the Stanley Cup win, yes, I'll listen, and I believe the Stanley Cup is the best trophy in all of sports.
And that's not hockey
But-
bias either.
But the World Series there's just such a different I don't know. There's a different feel to the World Series. It is like with baseball being the national pastime, it's always been like so front of mind when you talk about different time periods in history. Like, you know, the World Series has so much stories to it. I don't know. I think it was the first time I'd ever been to a World Series game,
Me too.
and
You know why,
it was electric.
And you know why I think it is that way, though, is because it's a sport where you actually literally do have to live and die on that specific pitch.
Oh, every day.
Because, I mean, think about it, right? So Rocky and I also it's on my top 15 list because, like, it was after you go to the World Series, Rocky and I went to the NL Wild Card in 2016 where Madison Bumgarner threw a gem against Noah Syndergaard. The Mets lost 3-0 on a home run by some guy that I forget his name. And was it Joe Panic? No, it wasn't Joe Panic.
All I know is that
It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So why I'm telling you the story is because that is baseball. 0-0 game, 5th inning. You feel like your guy's getting everybody out. They feel like their guy's getting everybody out. Somehow you get 2 runners on, 1 pitch, 3-0. Almost like the game was over. The air came out of the building. I think that's why. That's why because what doesn't make it interesting during the regular season for a lot of people is that same fact. It's like, okay, how important is this pitch in game 7 of the year when they're going to play 162 of these, right? Well, now you're in a 1-game wild card. That one freaking pitch is pretty important.
Yeah.
You know, you're in game 3 of the World Series down 2-0. That's as utmost of a 1-pitch importance as ever because you're living and dying, and there isn't going to be a tomorrow if you lose these games.
For
So
sure.
I believe that. And then secondly, on top of your other point, hockey, yeah, I agree with that because I also think that there's no better league with parity than the NHL. So when you get into the playoffs, like I really do feel like that's a sport where you can't even look at, like, if a team limped into the playoffs, I almost don't even care.
Yeah.
It's like something in hockey players is just like, okay, it's playoff time. We don't care what anybody's record is. It's almost as if everybody's on a level playing field. I think that's why it's so much fun to watch, and that's why it's so hard to win.
Well, yeah, it's also the only trophy that's never been duplicated.
True.
It's the same trophy.
Every year. So explain that to the people, because I don't know if everybody actually does know.
I mean, it's like if you win the World Series, you win an NBA championship, Lombardi trophy. Like that's why you see the Bulls walk in with literally 6 trophies, right? They call it the Lombardi trophy, but it's really the Lombardi trophy
Trophies.
52nd. Like
the
it's
52nd edition of the Lombardi
That is,
Trophy.
because it's not, I mean, just because it's named after him doesn't mean it's the only one. But in the NHL, there is only one Stanley Cup forever. Its entire history. Lord Stanley's Cup.
Started at the
And-
top of it, right?
After you win it, right? You win it, and then you get one day. You get 24 hours with the Stanley Cup by yourself. And so people have gone from skydiving. They visit their hometowns. They do a bunch of stuff. They make spaghetti meatballs out of it.
What would
Like,
you do?
What would I do? I honestly, I have no idea.
What would you, the Romo, say?
I might just bring it to the beach and sit with it like all day and just write down.
609-807-2492. What you do with the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, that's right. I like that. But yeah, Stanley Cup's cool like that. And then you get your name chiseled in the
On the
on
cup.
the cup and your name is there forever.
And it's the first annual Stanley Cup every year. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's the only
First ever
it's cool.
Stanley Cup. All right, so
Number 1.
it's the same on both lists. Rock, tell the people.
Johan Santana's no hitter.
You people knew this was coming. If you didn't, you're not a true Romo fan. Let's be serious. It's Santana. It's the no-hitter. And the reasons are endless.
No, I know.
We mentioned a little bit of it last week,
Yes.
okay? I'll give you my number one. You give me your number one, and we dissect the day.
Okay.
My number one is simply the fact that Rocky and I celebrated like we threw the no-hitter, and the people in the stadium celebrated like they had, and we'd never seen it before, but they didn't know what to do with themselves. And the feeling of being with 50,000 people, everyone's thinking the exact same thing. I cannot believe I just witnessed that. What do I do now? Was one of the most fun moments of my life.
Yes. And it was just so like we had like I think it was the first time we ever bought a 10-game summer pack.
20
And
game.
No, it's 10 game.
10,
game.
was it
No,
really?
We never did 20. Come on, we're not that
It
hard.
felt like we went to 20 a year.
No,
went to
but
a lot.
but it was. I mean, we went and like it was just so unexpected.
Yes.
Like you went to go have a good time, watch the Mets, you know. But again, like it was just like one of the night. Like you just didn't expect it. I don't know. That's probably the best part for me. I don't know how else to explain it. Like you just didn't expect it. The celebration was great. We ended up meeting up with like a friend from like
True.
you know, so like that was cool. Like you didn't know that they were gonna be there. So all around it was just a good time. But I mean it's the no-hitter. It's the only no-hitter in Mets history.
And this is at a time in our Mets fanhood where we were tailgating almost every game.
That we went to, not every game.
Someone wrote in, wow, Enzo was going off on the Instagram, on the Facebook comments right now, but he wrote a pretty funny one in. One of his favorite sports memories, at least the runner-up has to be coming close to winning the Romanella Bocce Ball tournament.
Yeah. Listen, the Romanella Bocce Ball tournament has that same kind of, aura.
So those are our top 5 favorite fan sports moments of all time, plus a little bit more. Obviously, Nohan and the Mets World Series 1 and 2 for us. But seriously, we want to know what your top fan sports moments of your lifetime are. Write them in on the Facebook comments, write them in on the Instagram or Twitter at Wide World of Rome, or call us in 609-807-2492. Give it to us anyway. After we come back from this break here in a minute, all right, because we tell you every week we got to pay the bills, so we got to take the break to hear from our sponsors. We have a lot lined up for you. We have a little bit of trivia. We love stumping Rocky these days. It's a super blast. Another something or other that I think is going to be a lot of fun is if you had 10 minutes and you had to choose one snack in an eating contest, what snack would you choose? Plus, we're going to talk a little golf, a little football, and Rock has some reviews. Wow. It's exciting. It's all exciting. It's the Rome Show. It's Andrew Romanella. It's Rocky Romanella. It's on HamiltonRadio.net, channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show. Rube, we got to pay these bills, and then we'll be back to the people after this quick break.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots on the ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and let us improve financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
All right. Back here for the second half of the Rome Show on HamiltonRadio.net, channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. I am Andrew Romanella. That is Rocky Romanella. We make up the Rome Show. We take you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour. You know these things, some other things you need to know. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Phone number 609-807-2492. Ruben just texted me. He said, I'd really like to talk to some of your fans if they could call in. So, I mean, hey, straight from the producer's mouth himself, he'd love to hear from the people.
He's ready for the phone calls.
So, I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of golf.
Yes.
Okay. And golf has come back as one of the professional sports that we can watch on television.
We can.
And when I was on the golf course Sunday with you and our brother-in-law, Chris, I came up with this idea, okay? My thought process here is that amateur golf is so interesting to witness. Some of the things that happen to an amateur golfer are so funny that it could probably be an HBO show.
Why are we? We're not amateurs. We're literally
Like-
just dudes that play golf.
Yeah, what else do you call it? Amateur? Aren't we amateurs?
Well, technically, I guess, but like people think amateurs, they think like AA.
Really? I would think that'd be a professional. Either way, what people like the regular common person do on the golf course, it's hilarious.
Yes.
Like it is really funny. Like the reactions that they have, some of the bad shots that happen, what happens in the woods, looking for golf balls, dudes peeing in trees. Like there's so much that goes on. And I'm saying to myself, I think this is $1 million idea. Maybe the Rome Show should explore miking themselves up on the golf course one day and giving the people insight, because I really just don't think though, like, I don't know. And let me know if you're a golfer out there. I'd love to know, but it is one of the hardest sports to possibly play of all time. And most people that get on the course really do think that they're going to be like really good
I don't know how many people think they're gonna be really good.
based on their That's my point. Is based on their reactions to their shots, you would think that they think that they should be on tour.
They well 100%. I mean,
That's my point.
well, because you want to be as good as you are, like throwing a baseball,
Yes,
which is impossible.
it's not possible.
No.
At all.
No, it sucks.
Do you have a funny golf moment that you remember from your career?
For me, you kind of right now off the top of my head, I don't think I do, but there's a couple about people.
Oh, good. Give it to us. Give it to us. I want to hear it. Let's go. Tell all, baby. Tell all.
No, I think the scene in Family Guy when they just have Quagmire just cursing every time
Yes.
he takes a shot. I think that's the best depiction of golf.
The
out
best depiction of golf.
there. Yeah.
I think my favorite golf story about myself is I was playing this course. We lived in what was it called in Georgia? Beaver Creek, maybe, or something like that. Whatever country club our house was by. We're on the 8th hole, okay? And the way the 8th hole worked on this course is about 250 yards straight down the fairway. Then it was a direct 90-degree turn over water to the green.
Okay.
So you had to play, straight up and then go over. So I'm about diagonally across the water, about 120 yards away. About 70 yards away from me is a flock of geese. Okay. And so I got a club out. Now I'm in 8th grade. I think I'm like 13 or 14 years old. 13. I got whatever club I have out. And I'm like, I'm trying to hit this over the water. Like I am trying to hit this green right now and roll. Again, amateur golfer thinking he's better than he really is. Not. I topped the heck out of this golf ball. What was the best part about it is I'm sure you can see where the story is going to go. Well, it wasn't only that I hit the flock of geese, and I pegged. Like one of them was like, like that noise, and it was like crazy because it was like a heat-seeking golf ball. It started out to the left, and it just, and you watched it happen, and it was just bam. So that was easily one of my favorite moments, and the icing on the cake was that the ball didn't go in the water. It hit geese. It stayed in fair territory. I had my next shot to go to the green. I don't remember if I hit the green or not because I was still so amazed that I hit the flock. So that is definitely one of my favorite. And I have another good one that I want to tell. Unless you have something you want to give the people.
I think one of my favorite memories from the golf course is we were younger and it had just rained and we did 1 million donuts on the golf course. And then on one hole ended up getting the golf course stuck in a mud puddle.
Ooh.
And then had to push it out. And I think we got blamed for ruining the course, but I think we got out of it. I don't know. Remember that? I think I don't know. We were with the Pizzos. It was a good time.
It was a great time. Yeah, if you've ever like lived on that edge of like messing around with a golf cart, like it's really dumb. You shouldn't do it, but it is kind of funny at the same time. It really is. All right, last one before we move on to Stumping Rocky, which, like I said earlier, is one of our favorite pastimes. Okay, so this kind of explains to you how frustrating golf is because it's so hard to get consistency going when you're a non-professional golfer. That's how I'll put it.
Okay.
So again, living in Georgia, the 6th hole of this par 3 golf course was in our backyard. So I had these friends. We were being so 8th grade playing Truth or Dare, and they dared me to steal somebody's golf ball. So I think it's a great idea to hide on the other side of the green. This foursome comes up. This guy hits a shot. I'm talking like 7 or 8 inches away from the hole. Like you're talking hole-in-one territory. Could have been the best shot in the guy's career. And the minute they got in their golf carts, I zipped across the green, scooped the golf ball, ran up to the house. And the reaction of this dude getting on the green was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And if you're a golfer who's ever hit a beautiful shot and
I
lost
can't find it. Oh my gosh, the worst.
it is the worst feeling. And for it to be that close to the pin, I should feel really bad about it because I care so much now, but it was one of the funniest things ever. So that's a top golf story for me. Even though I wasn't playing, I definitely contributed to frustration.
Golf courses just create so much mischief. Like we played around where the team, like the group in front of us, every time we got to the hole, like they had taken the flag and plugged it into a different part of the green. So we were aiming to the wrong hole every time. Like the cup was on the left side of the green, but the flag was always on the right.
That is hilarious.
Something crazy. So, but yeah, there's always mischief. And then like, if you're anywhere near a golf course, like we had a group of friends that would take, like we stole the 8-hole flag pin like 4 times. You just run up there at night and steal it and then don't give it back. So I don't know. Golf creates mischief.
It does create mischief.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. So there you go. And all that stemmed from us playing golf ourselves and us watching professional golf on TV and realizing the huge difference between us and them. However, I'm recording my handicap this summer, and I got to say I'm playing some pretty good golf right now.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself.
You got to check the way Andrew scores his game, though.
So I'm tired of hearing it. 609-807-2492 Rome Show, taking you all the way up until the 8 o'clock hour. A few more things we have on the docket before the show ends. A little bit of trivia coming up right now. Plus, if you had 10 minutes, you could choose one snack, and you were in an eating contest with that snack. What snack would you choose that's coming up at the 7:50 hour? Until then, okay. Cam Newton signed with the New England Patriots.
Nice.
Okay, this all has to do with your trivia.
Oh, wow.
He signed a very small deal with up to about $8 million worth of incentives, somewhere here, somewhere there. Okay. Very good deal for the Patriots. This is something I've been screaming about all summer. I believe that Cam Newton was going to sign with the Patriots. Okay. He is signed with the Patriots. I think it's going to be a good move. But what it made me realize was I wanted to see, all this conversation with Dak Prescott signing like a 30-something million contract in the NFL. I wanted to take a look at the disparity between the league with the highest paid contracts and the league with the lowest paid contracts. Okay. My first trivia question for you is this. What two leagues would you choose?
Wait, highest contracts? Baseball is the highest contracts.
And the lowest contracts?
Probably baseball.
NHL.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
The
NHL.
premise has
Yes,
been gotten.
I got it.
So now, I have trivia questions in both.
Well,
of them.
probably the MLS, but let's just.
Well, we're talking 4 major sports.
Okay.
leagues. Okay, so here's the trivia.
Okay.
All right. Cam Newton got the brain moving. What are, the players in Major League Baseball that have the top 5 contracts in per year salary? Now, I'm going to give you this hint. There are 3 players tied at number 4. So the bonus question is really the 6th player. You know all of these people. That's why I'm giving you this trivia question. You can ask for hints.
Mike Trout,
Wow. All right. Mike Trout, number 1.
Bryce Harper.
No.
Really?
Yeah, he's up there, but a lot has happened in the last few years.
What's the dude? What's his name? Giancarlo Stanton.
No. He was at one time, yes.
Oh my gosh.
You
Justin Verlander.
Yes, Justin Verlander is number 6 technically because there's a 3-way tie at number 4.
Okay.
That is. Go ahead.
Does Albert Pujols still get paid a lot of money?
Albert Pujols is not on this list. But
Is
he's
A-Rod still getting paid?
Yes, they don't stop getting paid. No,
Bobby Bonilla. Almost Bobby Bonilla day.
it is.
All right. So, all right.
You
so
have
Justin
2 of
Verlander.
the 6.
Yeah. So now I got to get back to the outfield, I think.
I don't think you do. I
No,
think
I probably got to stay on the hill. Probably got to stay on the hill. Clayton Kershaw.
no. But I love where your head's at.
Then I'm not going to think of whoever it is on the Dodgers.
Good call.
So,
You want? I'll give you hints.
yeah,
if you want
I need a
hints.
hint.
Okay. Of the remaining 4 players,
Yeah.
2 of them are on the same team.
Yeah. So it is Strasburg
Okay, there's one.
and
Strasburg.
Max Scherzer.
Okay, Max Scherzer number 3 on the list. Strasburg number 4 in that 3-way tie. Now, okay. The next 3, okay. 2 of them are pitchers.
Yeah.
One of them's a position player.
In the outfield.
Infield.
Infield.
Think dad.
I know this. Colorado Rockies.
Yeah. What is it?
Hold on.
The anticipation's killing me.
Nolan Arenado.
Yeah. There he is. All right. So Nolan Arenado is in the 4-spot tie. There's one more person in that spot, and then there's the person that's number 2 on this list that you are missing. That is some relevance to the area that we live in.
Some relevance to the area we live in. Well, DeGrom,
Nope.
but it's not DeGrom.
Okay. Well, you're on the right path.
It's not Syndergaard either.
Okay.
It's not on the Mets.
Okay.
So we know that.
Okay. We know that.
Probably on the Yankees.
Okay.
CC Sabathia.
Yeah, maybe in 2009.
Oh, Mariano Rivera.
Duh, stupid.
Honestly, the name's escaping me.
He was on the Astros.
Yeah, I know. This happened.
He did.
I know. And I'm so anti-baseball right now. It's like just the name is just not there. And I got Verlander already.
You did get Verlander already.
So I was on the Astros.
and one of the other guys is also on the Astros. The other name
I know.
on this
I
list.
just want to say Carlos Correa.
Whenever you give up, I will give you the last 2.
Just give me the last 2.
Okay.
I got brain farts.
Number 2 on the list from the New York Yankees, Garrett Cole.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Former teammate of Garrett Cole, still on the Houston Astros, one Zach Greinke.
Oh, okay.
So,
So that's why I was on the track with the Dodgers. All right, now I get it.
can you put them in order?
Can I put them?
I'll give you the names again.
Give me the names again.
Not in order, though.
Okay.
Nolan Arenado, Garrett Cole, Mike Trout, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Zach Greinke, Justin Verlander.
Scherzer's one, right?
No.
Nah, no. Trout's one.
Okay, good, correct.
Verlander's two.
No,
No,
he's not.
Scherzer's two.
No.
Garrett Cole's two.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. Then it's Scherzer.
Okay.
Then there's three people tied.
Yep.
So that's Arenado.
Yep.
That is Garrett. That is
Come on.
Strasburg.
Yeah.
And
You only got two left. So he cheats on
And
the last
Verlander.
two. It is Strasburg, Greinke, Arenado tied for
Oh,
4, Verlander
jeez.
5. That's
Oh
fun.
my God.
One last point on that stat for the trivia of Stump Rocky today. Mike Trout's making $37.7 million a year. Garrett Cole, $36 million per year. Max Scherzer, $35.9 million. Strasburg, Greinke, and Arenado, $35 million per year. And Justin Verlander, $33 million per year. Bonus question, Rocky.
All right. What is it?
Can you name the NHL player that makes the most per year on his contract?
Artemi Panarin.
No.
He's close. He makes the
He's number
most.
6.
He makes the most as a winger.
And I think in
He's
North
the most.
America
He's the most paid winger.
in the U.S. or something like that.
Crosby's not. I don't even think Ovechkin is.
You know this.
It might be Connor McDavid.
It is.
Yeah.
You know how much money that is? Man, think about what I just told you about what the baseball players make.
Probably only 18 a year.
Wow.
Is that right?
18.5.
Yeah, I mean 18 a year because I always think it's ridiculous that they were going to pay Daniel Murphy 25 a year.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So I did a quick look because I knew I was going to ask Rocky that question. The top 6 players in the NHL: Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, which the majority of people is going to be like, who the hell is that?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
John Tavares, Carey Price,
Well, all Canadians. All
Alexander
Canadian teams.
Ovechkin. Damn, that was the bonus question.
Except
What's-
Ovechkin.
What's the similarity between the top 5 players?
It's two Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a Canadian. It's an Oiler, and
Three
then it's
Toronto Maple
and then
Leafs.
it's Ovechkin.
How crazy is that? The top 5 players in the NHL are all Canadian.
Listen, the number one market in the NHL is still Toronto.
Yeah, of
it's,
course.
I mean, it's up there with.
3 of the
It's
top
actually
5
up there. It's
players.
actually up there with like Boston, Pittsburgh, and New York. It's
And
up
for
those
those of
four.
you that don't know, the Toronto Maple Leafs are one of the most historic franchises in the NHL. 3 of the top 5 paid players in the league, and they have not won a Stanley Cup in a long minute.
No, they went hardcore over the last couple of years because once they made Brendan Shanahan their president and they got Mike Babcock as the head coach, like it's been a big deal.
So, what did we think about this version of trivia?
I like this one
Did
better.
you like this one?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I know the players.
Yeah, it's true. You did seem like you were a little bit more engaged. Although he does get mad at me, and people call in or write him in, but like he does get mad at me when I ask like a kind of like a reckless variety question. Like there's 3 guys tied at 4, and he's like, "Come on!"
Yeah, who cares? Like I don't care if they're tied at 4. I need to figure out their names.
But that's the point. It's to stump you. It makes
Why-
it harder.
You know you're already stumping me.
That's the idea. All right. So that is your June 28th version of Stump Rocky. Here we go. Moving on. We got about 10 minutes or so left in this show. And this is something I brought up the other day. I was sitting on the roof of a house with my sister, my brother-in-law, and their family. And we were talking about snacking and foods that you could snack with and you could eat more of than others. Okay. So I then posed this question, something that I actually proposed to Rocky as doing live on the show, but he was not a fan of it.
That's a cool backstory. I just figured you were going to say it's 4th of July on Saturday and we're about to watch Joey Chestnut eat 150 hot dogs. So-
That's the other reason. Yeah, no, it's the
and that's a live sporting event.
100. Yeah,
You-
live sporting.
Has
event.
anyone gone?
Yeah.
806 or
Yeah.
9.
999-83347.
What is our phone number?
Somebody phone number. 609-807-2492. It's actually on the screen
There it is.
as well if you're watching. But yeah, Joey Chestnut, 4th of July food eating contest. So I posed this question. You have 10 minutes. You get to choose one food to be in the eating contest, any snack food, okay? What would you choose?
Probably Teddy Grahams, cinnamon. Wow. Yeah, I could eat. Right? Because they're small.
You could crush
You could
cinnamon
probably
Teddy
crush
Grahams.
them. Yeah. What would you choose?
So I've been back and forth on this. Originally, straight out the gate, I was like Skittles, no doubt. Hands down Skittles. But I'm like, I don't know if I can do candy for 10 minutes.
10 minutes of
Like,
Skittles?
That's straight diabetes, like waiting to come to me.
yeah. Yeah.
Then our sister Nicole said Smart Pop.
Ooh.
And I immediately realized that would actually probably be my choice. But the Smart Food version, white cheddar of the Smart Pop would probably be what I would go with.
See, I would choose like the kettle corn if it was popcorn.
The kettle corn pop.
Yeah.
Are there any other foods that you debated on? Because like I debated Cooler Ranch Doritos.
I debated Wheat Thins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wheat Thins. See, the thing is, for me, it was like, what's heavier?
Well,
What's
I
lighter?
wasn't.
What do you think?
Honestly, I wasn't thinking about like how much. I was thinking of what could I finish in, like what like could I finish in a setting. So I'm like a box of Wheat Thins in 10 minutes. I could do that in 10 minutes.
Then I was like, we double
Yeah.
stuffed Oreos, maybe.
Well, I put vanilla Oreos, and then
I
I put like a sleeve of Thin Mints.
warm sfogliatelli.
Sure you know.
Oh yeah, sure. That's because that's what everyone's gonna read that as. Like being Italian is really hard because we pronounce words not the way that they're written or spelled. So it's a difficult task. Here's what some of the people wrote in. First off, I have a really funny story about write-ins this week.
Outstanding.
Originally, Chris Warner, G. Marie, our sister's cousin, her brother-in-law cousin. You don't,
Friend of the show.
you don't even know her whole family.
Friend of the show.
He was supposed to come on the show to discuss this. So I wrote in, "Are you special guest on the show?" We had somebody write in, "Oh my God, is Jen the special guest today?"
Nice. Was Jen?
No, it wasn't. It would have been funny if it was, though.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a one Carissa Aguilar.
Nice.
Excited to hear if Esta Costa was going to be on the
Esther
show.
Costa for sure.
That made me laugh. Okay, we had hot dogs written in. Not a lot of flavor there. Not a lot of energy from that person. I mean, like hot dogs, really, like Joey Chestnut.
No chance I'm eating that many hot dogs.
Not really being that original.
No chance.
A whole bag of chips.
Which
Okay,
kind?
which kinds? Right. Chips, though, huge choice in some of this.
I mean,
category.
does Cheetos count as a chip?
Does Cheez-It count as a chip?
No, cheese is a cracker.
Oh, okay. Is it because it's square?
It's in a box.
All right,
It's not a
fair.
bag.
Entire bag of Skinny Pop. Extra toasty Cheez-Its.
Why?
I don't know.
The Cheez-Its are good.
Well, you can't question why.
Oh,
people-
Bugles. I crush Bugles.
Oh, Bugles would be a good one too. See, as this goes on, I start to say to myself, do Monday, July 6th, the Romo Sapiens on the Rome Show have a 10-minute food eating contest? Because I've also heard lime Tostitos. Good. That was one that was put out there. You mentioned Snickers.
Yeah, but
That was an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat Snickers in 10 minutes.
See, that's the thing is the candy's difficult.
Well, you can't do that.
Dad mentioned pretzels.
Yeah, but they have to be the skinny finger pretzels, or else, how are you going to eat that many pretzels?
Yeah, you gotta have like the small, or you know which ones? The square ones.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Snyder square ones.
Yeah, the nips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those. So interesting.
I might choose like a box of Life
Oh,
cereal. Yeah,
Honey Nut Cheerios. Wow.
yeah, or like Kicks. I could probably
You could
thousands.
crush-
I could eat thousands of.
But
Kix
that's
in
how
10
I feel
minutes.
about the Smart Pop.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like emptiness. I'm eating emptiness. I can
Kix-
keep going.
Kicks. Well, yeah, you just like accumulate a lot of stuff in your teeth.
That's the problem. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta have like toothpicks and stuff
Yeah,
there.
no.
So what you could eat in 10 minutes, I think this might be a Rome. See, but then here's my last question to you though. How do you quantify?
It's impossible. It's. Do you think you could eat a box of yours before I could eat a box of mine? Is really what it is.
Score a bag of mine between a
Yeah.
bag of yours.
And yeah, then you have to count how many is in each thing, and then go by percentage if you didn't finish it. So you ate 63% of yours, I ate 83% of mine, I win. Even though the quantity number is probably different.
Well, I'm in stats right now for my master's. Maybe I'll do this as a project in my class.
Well, honestly, it's going to lead right into Rock's reviews, actually, based on this conversation.
oh, okay. Well, then this is the last thing I'll say before we get to Rock's
Yeah.
reviews. One side challenge that came with this, which I think is actually possible, is the people at the beach over the weekend did not believe that Andrew could eat a full bag of Skittles in 1 minute. I believe I can.
No chance.
Really?
Yes.
Are we talking king size or regular size?
Regular size Skittles in 1 minute? That's ridiculous.
You don't think so?
Like, why do you want to subject to?
I want to try it July 6th. I kind of do. I really
might
kinda
want to
do.
try it off camera first.
All right, I'm going to try it off camera. While I get ready to try my Skittles, I guess my own food eating contest, it's time. Your favorite part of the show, your favorite 5 minutes in radio, internet, television. I love drum rolls.
Just trying to eat.
Rock's Reviews.
So
Take
this
it away.
week we're actually. Oh yeah, no, I'm actually. So I thought a lot about the Giants. I go to almost every home game.
I think I know where this is going.
Right, so I was going to review Earn the Right to Win by Tom Coughlin. Great book. Right, I'm in the middle of planning a new year at work. Like I'm drawing on a lot of his principles. Right, but then I come onto this show, and I've got this guy who tries to stump me, give me ridiculous questions, and then he's talking about salaries and he's talking about stats and all this stuff. So then I changed it. I'm reviewing Moneyball by Michael Lewis,
Wow.
and then I can also review the movie with Brad Pitt, which unfortunately did not make our top 64 countdown.
Which is on us, by the way.
Pure blunder. But you know what? They weren't going to win. Let's be serious. But anyways, if you want to understand how people are paid in baseball, why they're paid a certain way, and how the future of baseball, actually the present of baseball, is completely overrun by analytics, go read Moneyball, go watch the movie, because that is the premise for everything that you see. That what you may like it, you might hate it, but I mean the analytics in baseball, the salaries in baseball, how people are paid, why people are paid, that's where you're going to learn about it. Watch Moneyball, read Moneyball, and I actually have enjoyed both. And so that is my review today in response to your statistical BS when you ask me these questions.
And I would actually have to say, too, by the way, people, that could be one of Brad Pitt's best performances.
I don't know about that. I mean,
He's so good in that movie.
dude, he's Achilles.
I understand I didn't say it was his best performance. I said one of his best.
He's Achilles. He's in Fight Club.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I mean, he's better in Moneyball than Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Would you send people, now this sometimes could seem like a dumb question because I think people aim towards movie over book. Would you send people to the book first, though?
Yes.
Because I read the book in high school in my baseball
No,
English
because
class.
the problem is that it's a movie. There's really no ending to the movie.
There is no end.
Right,
book-
so there's no ending. So I was actually, when they first came out, the movie, what's the movie gonna be about?
Right.
Like, why isn't this a documentary?
Sure.
Right, it should, you know what I'm saying? So I would read it.
All right, read the book first. Moneyball, Rock's Reviews, June 28th, 2020. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a really good book, and it really does. You're going to read it or watch it, and you're going to say, wow, this is baseball in 2020, and this is where baseball currently is. Really, really appreciate what you did, Jimmy Bean and Oakland Athletics.
Billy Bean.
Billy Bean and Oakland Athletics. Hey, guys, this has been a blast. This has been a lot of fun today on The Rome Show. The conversation doesn't stop just because the live version of The Rome Show is over. You can head to any podcast site possible. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast, type in The Rome Show Podcast, and you can listen to this entire show again, all right? You can continue the conversation on the social medias. We like to put out clips of our previous shows. Get on the Facebook, write in at Wide World of Rome, and then head over to wideworldofrome.com. Check out some of the stuff we got going on over there, our apparel, the whole 9 yards. We appreciate you, the Romo Sapiens, tuning in on Facebook, on the radio link, on the social media. It's awesome. We will be back next week, July 6th. Maybe, just maybe, Andrew will be trying to eat a bag of, today's June. Side note, today's June 29th, by the way. I've said June 28th all show.
Really?
All show.
Oh, didn't even know.
It's June 29th. We'll be back July 6th. Andrew might be eating a bag of Skittles in under 1 minute. Who knows? I don't. You might find out. You got to tune in on HamiltonRadio.net channel 2 and Facebook.com/The Rome Show. Andrew Romanella.
Rocky Romanella.
We are The Rome Show. And we're done for this week. Talk to you next week. See ya.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store. revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and let its improve financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
Do this look like work? Nah, looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Every night is here, all of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah, all of this for me. Bottles over here, all of this for me. Bottles, bring bottles, yeah, all of this for me. You for real?
Hey, Andrew.
What's up, Rube?
Hey, good show, guys. That was funny. I like to see that too.
Thanks,
Get a
man.
whole box of cereals.